Hey everyone, so I made this Mickey Mouse Tula hood and I'm going to show you how I did it. First the pattern, I will link it below. I just printed it out, ironed my fabric really well and cut it. I need both my exterior and interior fabrics to match up perfectly, so I needed to be very careful. Right there with that pin, I need both the exterior and the interior hood to line up. So I wanted to cut it just as neatly as possible so the seams will match. So here I am sewing the top of the hood, and it's just from that little red pin that you saw previously to the front, and there's the shape of the hood. And then I'm doing the exterior fabric, same thing, just sewing the top of it, and see the shape of it. So that's the easy part of this whole thing. Now to assemble them, I'm going to put both pieces. But first I'm going to mark where my opening is going to be, because there's a side elastic where I will need to leave an opening. So there will be 3 openings when I sew both pieces together, both the 2 elastic sides and the bottom one for me to be able to turn my fabrics inside out. So here I am lining up my interior and exterior fabrics right sides facing together, marking where not to sew for the sides, and then pinning it all around so I match up my top seam together. So here I am sewing it all around, leaving, like I said, an opening at the bottom and on the sides. And I'm just trimming away with the scissors any little things. And there's, see my openings right there? So now I am going to use my, I think they're called picking shears, and they're little triangles, and I'm going to cut around. So I'm going to now turn it inside out, and of course clean it up as best as I can. Make sure all the threads, turn it inside out, and there's my hood already made. So that's the easy part. Now the next part is to iron all the seams. So I just took my iron and I ironed it as best as I could to lay them flat, because I'm going to sew an exterior stitch all around the edges. But first, this is really important, I put an elastic while my fabric was inside out on both sides, and that elastic, when I turn it inside out, will come out through the 2 openings. So here I am turning it inside out, and then my elastics are going to poke out of those side openings that I had left. See, there, it's come out, and I'm going to do a stitch all the length of that to keep it sort of in place. And same thing on the other side, pull out that elastic, and now I'm ready to sew a little stitch all around the hood, all around it, all the way around, and that stitch will make sure that my elastic stays in place. So see, there's that little edge right there, so I'm just going all the way around my hood, and of course closing the, okay, so here's an important thing. I made a mistake here and I closed it and I had to reopen it because I forgot to add the Mickey ears. So here I'm prepping my Mickey ears. I use this stiff sort of filling, and I put adhesive heat and bond iron and glued it to a black little square. Then I did the same. I put the heat and bond into this little stiff fabric so that the ears will stand up. And then I sewed it around. You can't really tell, but I stitched it all around. And now I'm just going to cut around with scissors any excess fabric. And then I'm going to use my picking shears to do the edges. And I'm going to turn it inside out. I left a small opening. And you have to make sure that the heat and bond really sticks so the ears are nice and crisp. So I'm turning it inside out. And here is my perfect little circle, and the bottom has a little opening, and that's what's going to be sewn to the bottom, to the top of the hoodie. See, it's going to stand up like that. So here's when I added the ears. I'm just going to show you. I turned it inside out, I pinned it to the location where I wanted to, and then I went inside and I sewed them. So this is what they're going to look like, a little pinched at the top. And see, that's where I'm going to sew. Alright, so now I'm adding the Mickey Mouse ends, and this is just a little string that I made. It's black string, and I'm just going to glue it between the Mickey Mouse and some black fabric, and I cut mine 18 inches long, so when it folds over it's just 9 inches long in length. So I just loop it through, and then I think I used heat and bond to glue it to the black fabric, and I went ahead and I just stitched it all around. So this is my final product, and I forgot to mention that when I was sewing the base of the hood, I pinched. Do you see right there? There's 2 pinches. They're about 1/2 inch, and it's just so that it fits the width of the Tula because the pattern is a little larger, and that's it's meant to be there. So I missed it earlier, but just so you know, you do have to do about a 1/2 inch sort of pleat, so it looks perfect. Thank you.